So let's talk about what's happening in the market today. Do you think this year, 2021, is it going to be the best year ever in real estate?
Quite possibly. It's been a terrific turnaround in residential real estate over the last 8 years. And residential real estate builds on itself. So what we've got right now is huge momentum from the prior 5 or 8 years. And hopefully it will continue. To me, the only thing that will derail it.
Welcome to the Jennifer J. Hammond Podcast. Jennifer is a licensed realtor, educator, speaker, and best-selling author. Jennifer's goal is to help you find your yay in every day.
Hello. This is Jennifer J. Hammond, and I'm here. I have a special guest today. It's one of my fellow colleagues with TTR Sotheby's International Real Estate, Corey Burr. He is a senior vice president with TTR Sotheby's International Real Estate, and he's been doing this for 34 years. Yes, residential real estate for 34 years, and he's licensed in Virginia, DC, and Maryland. We love to affectionately call it the DMV, which is not the driver's license place. And he's also a founder of a 20-agent group. Yes, that takes a lot of management. So welcome, Corey.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's great to be with you.
It's such a pleasure. So let's talk about what's happening in the market today. Do you think this year, 2021, is it going to be the best year ever in real estate?
Quite possibly. It's been a terrific turnaround in residential real estate over the last 8 years. And residential real estate builds on itself. So what we've got right now is huge momentum from the prior 5 or 8 years. And hopefully it will continue. To me, the only thing that will derail it is a hefty increase in interest rates.
And that's interesting that you say that, because there is talk that there's going to be a big change in interest rates. So what do you think will happen? Do you think that will slow down the market, or do you think that people will still continue, because there are a lot of people who are relocating, and you probably know this as well, the trends that we have and we've seen in the DC area, there are a lot of people who are moving out of condos, moving to houses. Some people who have houses are moving out into the suburbs or moving out to the beach or someplace because now they can remotely work. So do you think interest rates will stop all these trends?
I don't think it will stop it, but I think it will soften the craziness that we've experienced over the last 18 months, where we were so surprised that the market turned around in May of 2020 after March and April were just so scary.
Right. And then even 2021, the spring of 2021, it's been a pretty crazy with these multiple offers, people, waiving their financial contingencies and home inspection contingencies. I mean, what is some of your experiences in 2021, especially the spring?
Well, having started in 1987, I've seen several cycles, and I'm a believer that the residential real estate market goes in 16-year cycles. The last peak we had was about 2006. And before that, it was around 1990, before a recession hit that ushered in the Clinton presidency. So typically what happens, and if this happened in 2007 and 2008, is that the Federal Reserve raised their interest rates very quickly and very sharply. And that led to a greatly increased amount of carrying costs on the 30-year fixed mortgage. And it has its intended effect. It slows the economy. So I think that they're not going to do it so quickly in 2022. They're very conscious still about wanting to get full employment before they get a little bit more aggressive on raising rates. And that means getting the unemployment rate down into the 3% range.
Yeah, I think that you're right. I think right now, the goal is really focused on keeping the economy going. But I would say the market is definitely, for us in the Washington, D.C. area, it's very different when it, each season. Would you agree?
Each season's very different, and we never know how it's going to play out. For example, this summer turned out to be quite slow. And I just think that a lot of people felt gypped that they didn't get a nice summer vacation in 2020. So everybody made plans to get away in 2021. And what it meant is that players in the residential market, buyers, and sellers who were going to put their houses on, put everything on hold from mid-June through about September 1st. But what we've seen in the last 4 weeks is the market has come racing back.
It is. It has been, I have seen the same. It has been so super busy, shall we say, super, super, super busy. So let's talk about according to the National Association of Realtors, there's, this competitive buying. It has been something that has really intensified, especially over the spring. I've got to say in the fall, I've already seen it get really busy as well. Have you seen bidding wars?
Yes, we certainly have. It's in certain neighborhoods and in certain price ranges.
Right.
But, for the most part, there are a lot of buyers still out there. They have great income. It's typically a 2-income household. And with interest rates, the 30-year fixed hovering around 3%, a lot of people throw around the term money is practically free. And in that environment, they feel like they can leverage their income and really feel like they can bid up a property. We also had a period of time after the Great Recession of 2008 where a lot of young people literally didn't believe in the American dream anymore, of which owning a house or a condominium is a very big part. So those people are now racing into the market because they feel as if now's the time to really, join the American dream. So when we've got a young generation joining in and then existing owners who have had a lot of appreciation, it just makes the cauldron very hot for the market to continue to do well.
Absolutely. And so I'm curious, since you brought it up, let's talk about what advice would you give to buyers in this market, especially if they're going to go into a situation where there's competition and they're trying to figure out how to stand out from the pack?
So first of all, as you know, part of what we do is psychology. And also we encourage a lot in our dealings with sellers and buyers. My first bit of advice to buyers is stay positive and stay in the game. Do not despair. No matter how many offers you make and no matter how many properties you are not successful with, in order to be successful, you've got to stay in the game. Stay focused on what you can do to make your offer the best. And really what we're talking about is making sure that you have the cleanest possible offer to present to a seller. And that basically encompasses getting your mortgage as far along as possible. Yes. So that you have a loan approval that's contingent only on an appraisal. If need be, do a pre-offer inspection, spend a few $100s, get an inspector in there to make sure there's nothing fatal about the condition of the property. And thirdly, you can decide, it's quite a risk assessment whether or not to waive an appraisal contingency. It's scary for a young buyer to face not having an appraisal contingency and then having an appraisal come in low. So that to me is the scariest part of a purchase for a young buyer. If there is any backstop, such as savings, or perhaps a member of the family might be able to backstop somebody, that's always a more comfortable position. But if not, keep that safeguard in there. So that really is the best way to be successful.
I love that, because one of the big things that people always put off, well, I don't know, if we're not going to win this offer, then maybe we shouldn't worry about, but because it, as you know, the mortgage process sometimes it can seem to be a little bit daunting because you got to get all those documents over to the mortgage lender. But again, if you want to be prepared, think about the old Boy Scout model of be prepared, get your mortgage. I love what you said. That's so beautiful. You need to get your mortgage, that whole loan application process, as far along as you possibly can. Have them pull your credit, have them look at every single thing in case there are any surprises. Hopefully there are no surprises, but right. It's important to be prepared, right? Yes.
And a lot of people aren't maximizing their credit score. And so if a relationship is started with a lender early on in the process, that lender can help take the steps necessary to get the credit score up so that the process becomes easier for the borrower.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's so important that you really, again, I always talk about you need to have a relationship with that lender. It shouldn't be just you're shopping a rate. You really need to have a relationship where they can talk to you about the credit. And as you just said, if they're not optimizing their credit properly, they need to optimize it properly. They need to have gone through that process so that you're not surprised. And again, that you have confidence when you're out there in this competitive market. As a buyer, you need to know everything you possibly can. And the money part of it is essential to your success. And, even as a listing agent. And so now I'm going to flip the script on you. So now as a listing agent, what do you look for when there's when there's competitive offers and it's like splitting hairs because they're similar in price, they're similar. So what do you look at? Do you look at the mortgage and who's giving the mortgage? What is important to you?
The first thing I want to do is, as I have my arm around my seller client, is I want to make sure that we choose an offer that is going to have a very strong possibility of getting to the settlement table without any problems. So that's the first thing. And usually it turns to the buyer's finances. Do they have a loan commitment that's based simply on a successful appraisal? Do they have additional assets in the bank so that if the appraisal comes in a little low, can they overcome that and get to the settlement table? Then you're looking at if they have any contingencies, particularly anything that's out of the ordinary. If it's beyond a simple inspection or financing or appraisal. And then lastly, you're looking at all the terms. You want your seller to be able to get the most money as possible and have the timing work out that's ideal for them.
I think that's great advice. And I think it's so important, that you look at it with you're a buyer, you look at it from the seller's viewpoint. And as a seller, you look at it from the buyer's viewpoint so that you can figure out how can we make this a win-win. But again, making sure that you're finding the best scenario for that deal, because as you know, every single deal is like a fingerprint. Every single one is different.
Completely. Yes.
There's no two alike in any way, shape, or form. So now I would love for you to pull out your little crystal ball and tell us, what do you think the future holds for next year?
Well, in general, I don't like to follow the conventional wisdom. And right now, the conventional wisdom is that we are going to be gradually getting out of the tension that the pandemic caused. I don't think it's going to be quite as simple as what a lot of people think. And that, the conventional wisdom is that 2022 will be faster growth for our economy, slightly higher interest rates, but things will be getting better and better as people go back to work and the unemployment rate goes down. Somehow, I just don't think it's going to be quite as smooth as that. And we're seeing signs of that in the inflation numbers and also the supply chain numbers, and also the hiccup in the unemployment rate last Friday. So we're going to have some speed bumps along the way. But I think in general, as long as there is not some kind of massive, shakeup or surprise news event, we should be in pretty good shape. And that gradually rates will go higher over the next 2 to 3 years. It'll have a little bit of a dampening effect on our price appreciation because it's extremely difficult to sustain the kind of price appreciation we've had in the last 18 months. But I think you would agree with me that we'd be happy to have single-digit price appreciation and just have a normal functioning market, right, rather than have the kind of crazy drop that we had in 2008 through 2010.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. The ups and downs, it's like a roller coaster. We might prefer the gradual, definitely predictable. We go up, if we're going to come down a little bit, it's gradual and it's, it's more of a fun experience than the radical changes. And I agree with you in the fact that, I think that I'm going to go against some of the traditional stuff in the fact that I believe that we're going to have a good year next year. It's just, I think that right now, what we can expect is the unexpected. We know that it's just not going to be like anything we've had before. But I think, like you just mentioned before about advice to sellers, advice to buyers, is know your neighborhood and really understand your mortgage process, both from the seller viewpoint, but from the buyer viewpoint. And then I would love for you to say just a couple words about why is it important to hire a great realtor?
Well, in any field, you want to have a professional holding your hand in a very important financial and life-changing event. And so realtors in particular are a safeguard against your making a massive mistake and something that you'll immediately be very disappointed about. The realtor is your partner, is your representative, is the person who is staking his or her professional career on your success. And having that peace of mind and having somebody who knows the market, knows finances, knows the other realtors, follows the market, knows all the nuances of what's going on every day, that kind of professional, that kind of advisor just can't be found elsewhere. And there's no substitute for it for a buyer trying to do it on his or her own.
And as you know, owning a home is the time-tested path to wealth for anyone. And so it's really important that you have a professional, and not only, I would say it again, as well as not only your real estate agent and hopefully a realtor, which is a trademark that is for the National Association of Realtors, which people who are actually members are called realtors. So I always want to make sure that I clarify that, but also your mortgage professional. You make sure that you surround yourself with professionals who are going to help you, and don't just go look online and pick a house. It's really important, especially I think in the times that are these times that they are changing. Reminds me of a song.
Yes.
Surround yourself from professionals, right?
Yes. And it's really important for everyone to understand that the federal government is trying its best to get Americans to buy real estate. In addition to a Roth IRA or a SEP IRA or other retirement funds, the federal government allows a homeowner to deduct interest on mortgages up to, I believe it's $750,000. And there's a cap on deductions on property taxes up to, I think, $10,000. So if someone can commit to staying in place for more than 3 years, they should buy, because it's being subsidized by the federal government. And you just can't find that too many places.
I think it's so important to understand the power of it, because there are so many benefits. And I know we're out of time today, but I would love to have you back, and we can talk all about, especially for people who want to become real estate investors and all of the benefits. There's so many benefits there, but I know today we're out of time. I want to make sure, Corey, people know how to get a hold of you. Would you share your website, your email, anything you want to share?
Most certainly. So they can find me on our website is burrgroup.com. My email address is corey.burr@sothebysrealty.com. And my direct line is 301-346.